While in Louisiana for the Yellow Rails and Rice Festival, I stayed at Myers Landing RV Park. It was pretty empty midweek, but by the weekend, things had filled up a bit. The predicted wet weather that had prompted my early arrival to Louisiana arrived for 2 straight days of rain. I tried to make the best of it by visiting local Lacassine National Wildlife Refuge and other birding spots in the area between the rain showers. When there were breaks in the rain, I took advantage to get out and look for birds. I was rewarded with this sighting of a vermilion flycatcher. I also followed huge flocks of white-faced and glossy ibis as they flew around in the skies and eventually landed in this rice field. Both species feed on a diversity of creatures such as earthworms, snails, crayfish, insects, and even sometimes fish, frogs, and even small mammals. Glossy ibis also feed on the rice grains. As they settled, I was able to take a better scope look at individual birds as they foraged through the rice field. With close enough looks, you can actually tell the difference between the white-faced ibis and the glossy ibis, which look very similar in the non-breeding season. White-faced ibis have a very deep red eye and a facial skin patch that is red or pinkish in color. Glossy ibis, on the other hand, have a very dark eye and a gray or bluish-gray colored facial patch. Hiding amongst the ibis were also a few greater white-fronted geese. A little ways down the road, I found another flooded field with shorebirds and these white ibis, completing the sweep of ibis species. Also included were these American avocets. This bald eagle, these Inca doves, and this loggerhead shrike. The next day turned out to be a bit drier, and I set out again to another area of Lacassine National Wildlife Refuge, the Wildlife Drive. The expansive wetlands along the Wildlife Drive were filled with wading birds such as great egrets, white ibis, and black-necked stilt. Other wetland birds included plenty of common gallinule, and even this unusual juvenile purple gallinule. I got a kick out of watching it balance on top of the lily pads using its very long toes. But the most numerous bird was black-bellied whistling ducks. There were hundreds lining the marsh and the mud flats, and hiding amongst them were several fulvous whistling ducks, probably my prize bird for the day. And of course, any visit to Louisiana isn't complete without an American alligator. Nor is it complete without dining on Cajun cuisine like shrimp gumbo and fried seafood, and listening to some live Cajun music. My time at the festival was winding down, but I had one more day of guided birding to the Chenier forests of the Cameron coastline before heading home. Stay tuned for the next and final episode of my trip to Louisiana.